passionate debate has taken root in Uganda. What is this debate about? It's about the minimum wage. The ability for a worker to earn a certain amount of money that can enable them to have a dignified living. The debate on a minimum wage has about 3 points of view. There are those who say that we need it because it's long overdue, and they argue that the minimum wage is important to reduce poverty. There are those who also say that the debate needs to be taken with a bit of caution because there isn't enough evidence as yet to determine what an impact it would have on the economy and on jobs and employment. Then there is a third category who just dismiss the idea right away, saying it will be a job killer. But what really is the truth? The realities and conditions in which Ugandan workers live are really sad in some instances. Some people are paid less than 50,000 Uganda shillings per month, and they are expected to live by that amount for food, to take care of their children, and for housing.
I'm called Nachuguli Jaria, working for Marine and Agri based in Jinja. I'm a packer there, but we work for 3 days a week, and the daily pay is 4,000 per day. So that amounts to 48,000 a month. When you looking at just the basics that I incur per month, I'm only looking at feeding at 2,000 a day, which calculates into 60,000 per month. That's already surpassing the income. And then 50,000 accommodation, leaving others aside. But if you include them, it's far much more compared to the income.
Workers through their various movements have been advocating for better pay by arguing for the introduction of a minimum wage. But the government has largely been against this idea, arguing that setting a minimum wage will scare away investors and in the long run cause loss of jobs. Lack of government will for long has subjected workers to exploitation.
We work for Indians, and going there to ask that person, because we've tried, it's not that we are just talking. We've gone there and now most people have lost hope. Because when you go there, he tells you, if you don't want to work, go home.
Now the whole issue is so complex that the exploitation is becoming too far. It is bigger companies. The bigger companies, who you think they should be having the money to pay, they are not taking the responsibility to own. If you have a government that is not pro the workers, now the employer is going to casualize. And then for us now, I mean, our hands are a bit tight.
If the level of unemployment continues increasing, I don't think that we are going to move a step. And the government should at least see how to minimize unemployment in this country, because it's unemployment which is causing poverty. And it's because of the poverty that the investors are stepping on us.
I want to look back at the days we were employed. An employee coming from Chambo, for instance, was earning 1,100. That would mean about 2.5 million today. But how much does he earn? A person coming from Makerere was earning 1,300. The lowest paying person as I started working was earning 150,000 shillings. I mean 150 shillings, which was about $2, which is equivalent to $100 or 110 today.
The biggest challenge I look at is the information flow. The persons who are affected don't know completely. I think we need to really be critical in the performance of the stakeholders, that is government, the employment sectors, and then the information that the employees have.
But the Chairman General for the National Organization of Trade Unions in Uganda, Mr. Wilson Owere, says the fight is still on.
Nothing will come on the silver platter. We the workers must struggle and ensure there is social justice. What we need to do, one of them is, first of all, we create awareness to the very members who are actually, and then the demand comes from them. The other area is to use the media as much as possible. and create more awareness to the population, convince the religious leaders, the leaders at all levels to understand. We also need to come out with data. How many people are affected? How much government is losing in terms of revenue?
Recently, however, the government is changing its stance. At the recent Labor Day celebrations, the president said he was now willing to consider a minimum wage. Also, at the last ILO convention in Geneva, Uganda was put on the spot, and our labor minister had to promise that the government was going to work on the process that will kickstart a minimum wage. That was, however, after the delegates pressed Uganda for sidestepping ILO conventions that the country has signed over the years. However, this is a positive development. The challenge for activists now is to figure out how do we sustain this positive momentum until the government finally accepts to institute a minimum wage.